This week on Dude Stuff.
Well, this is the mid-drive I built last month with the 500 watt 48 volt e-bike kit from KIRBEBIKE, and I'm going to stick another 2 more motors on it because, I don't know really why, just because it'd be fun I guess. I'm going to talk a little bit in this. It's not going to be an in-depth tutorial on the whole entire thing, but I'm going to talk about the most important bits if you want to do a dual or triple motor bike. Especially to do with the dual hub motors, because I built one before on the channel and I didn't explain in any detail what I actually did. So if you want to put a 2000 watt front hub motor onto a bike, you're going to need 3 things. First thing is, if you're buying a standard 2000 watt wheel, such as this one here, you can buy it with a cassette and just remove the cassette. And then what I did on the last one is I bought a pair of forks kind of similar to this, but last time I bought some downhill forks. Fat forks is basically what you want. You want a pair of, I think it's about 140 the dropout width, but get yourself a pair of fat bike forks, and that wheel, I mean the wheel bolts aren't undone, but as you probably can see from there, if you're looking at this wheel, it is pretty much spot on. I ain't gonna lie, it ain't easy. That's what brings me on to the number 2 thing of what you need to build a dual motor bike. You've got to have a bit of a screw loose really. The reason for that being, it's just not a practical. I've had a few people say, you got that dual bike for sale, and I'm like, when I talk to them and I explain, they're like, oh, no. And even the one that I did sell to a guy on the channel, like about 2 weeks later, he was like, oh mate, I got a bit carried away, it's a bit much for me. It isn't a chill, everyday ride that you want to be smoking about on. You've got to have a bit of a screw loose to start putting dual and triple motors on a bike. So just bear that in mind. If you hit me up, if you're interested in buying these builds afterwards, I'm hoping you're probably not quite right in the head and understand that it's going to be a little bit bonkers. But anyway. Moving on, right, so fat bike forks will work straight up with a 2000 watt Andy Kirby kit, but it is not straightforward. It's very, very custom. You're not going to just undo some bolts, slap it in, plug some plugs, it's going to work. They are all very individual and custom. For some reason, the supplier, I did briefly mention I was doing a dual motor bike. The supplier, KIRBEBIKE, has sent me a modified front wheel. This isn't something you normally get. It's got the cassette body removed from the axle already, which kind of caught me by surprise. So apparently you were saying this was like a 100mm dropout, so it's going to work straight up. I intended to fit these fat bike forks on here like I did last time. I bought an adapter kit ready because that's a tapered head tube, and it's very difficult to find fat forks in a tapered head tube. So you can buy the headset adapter kits to convert this to tapered head tube. Anyway, all that's gone out the window now. I'm going to save these for another project. I've started fitting this to a standard 100mm fork, Suntour fork. So I'm going to take you in for the little details and show you just how finicky and much of a pain in the ass it is to fit. To start off with, these little nuts were hitting the back of this hydraulic hose fitting. You can see it has got clearance now, but it's about a human hair of clearance, but it's clearance. So what I've done to rectify this, so this bike come with a 160mm disc, and I've added this from Uber Bike Components. It's a 160 to 220 post mount adapter. That has moved the whole caliper up, so it's just given us enough clearance to just about clear, and it's not knocking, it's not hitting. There's no reason why it should now. So it's always a great idea of a dual motor to upgrade at least the front disc. I mean, look at that puny little 160mm brake disc rotor. It's pathetic. And we've gone with a 220 upgrade, which you can see is quite a drastic difference in braking power, and you're going to want that with the extra weight, the extra acceleration speed. It's kind of been a necessary upgrade for many reasons. It's going to increase the braking power and it's going to give us a clearance on the caliper, but it doesn't end there. It is not straightforward. I've had to go with 3 spacers in this area here just to give enough clearance for this caliper against the hub motor. Now on this side, this leaves us next to no room for the cable, so I've put a couple of cable ties in here to pull this wire away. I'm not sure if I'll fit even one more spacer in there. It really is that tight. I'm going to buzz this wheel off and try and fit the tyre, brake disc and everything and make a fork modification, but I'm not sure if it'll go back on. If I can get one more spacer in here, I might be able to get just a little bit more clearance on this, but at the moment you can see here it's not rubbing to the point where it's stopping the wheel turning or anything, so we might be alright, but if I can get another spacer in there I will. Right, the other thing that I have to do, can't see a way around it, is a little bit of a fork modification. This is a standard quick release skewer. Now you might get maxles or 12mm axles that are a little bit bigger, but generally this is all you get. And when it's fitted on a normal mountain bike, you've got this little nut that sits within this recess. So that all works great and it kind of keeps it locked in place. Get rid of that. Now, when you've got a 2000 watt front wheel with a great big 40mm, whatever size axle it is, 12, that doesn't sit in that, and you do not want to be clamping all that torque and power down on the edge of a little lip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scribe the diameter of the bolt on this wheel carefully in the fork, and then we're going to begin the delicate process of carefully removing the metal. What's a good word? It's a good word, Lou.
Precise.
Very precise. We need absolute precision. Basically, we just want a nice flat surface where that bolt is going to sit a lot more securely. I know people are going to look at this thing, that's dangerous, but what's dangerous is leaving that little lip and not having the nut sit on a, you know, as flat as possible surface. So I'm just going to clean that up a little bit, repeat the same the other side. We should be good. Just got reading glasses. I've come of that age where, you know, 32 now, so fortunately I needed reading glasses. Guys, don't forget I'm giving away this awesome e-bike. Now, I think a lot of people are geared towards trying to enter for the 2000 watt e-bikes, but there's a few reasons why I think you should jump on this one. One is that it's only a 1 entry, like literally 1 entry. I'll put the screenshot up now, it hasn't been photoshopped. There is one £2 entry, so currently at the moment if you put your entry in, it's literally like you and one other person. So the odds of winning this, which costs about £900 to build the bike and the kit, it's got a brand new kit, it's a brand new bike, it's a great city bike. Now, and you've got about 18 miles of range out of this little battery, which is absolutely insane. I've unlocked this kit, so it's not limited to 15 miles an hour. You'll get pretty much close to 30 miles an hour downhill. So the range is good, the speed's good, it's light. It's just a sick little bike, and there is a very high chance of winning this bike. So jump on over, put the link up on the screen now, and we'll crack on with the dual motor project, triple motor project. I have been fighting for literally 2 hours with this bike this morning, so I've got the brake disc rotor fitted, didn't line up with a caliper, installed a spacer behind the disc rotor and still didn't fit, so I fitted a different size one. Then it lined up alright with a caliper. Then I noticed that the brake disc rotor was skimming ever so slightly on the post mount adapter, so I've taken this apart and there's a little step down. I've just got to take the edge off of it. It's literally probably like 1mm. So I'm going to take a little bit off of this now with a file and hopefully be at a stage where I can start putting it back together and putting the caliper back on, the tyre, the inner tube, and see where we're at. The front wheel is on and I'm still not happy with these silver bolts around the edge of the hub motor, so I've made an executive decision to switch out the large Allen heads for a M4 bolt that saves me about 2mm in clearance. So I'm going to replace, I think there's 8 or 9 of these around the motor. Going to switch these out, then hopefully we'll check what it's like. Right, I think we're good. The wheel is on and I've done lots of modifications, and although it is barely clearing, it is actually turning freely, braking nicely. Yeah. What is going on, guys? I'm most of the way there now. I know it doesn't look it and kind of doesn't feel it either. I've got cables everywhere, but I've installed the battery, done this properly. I've drilled in the top tube and installed 3 rev nuts, so that's on there nice and securely. I've fitted the 2 sine wave controllers for the Andy Kirby 2000 watt kits. Got 3 displays on the handlebars. I've currently snapped the thumb throttle, so I'm waiting for Amazon to turn up with a full. I'm going to go with full twist throttle. I don't want to have this amount of power on the thumb, so I'm going with a full twist throttle. And now it's down to connecting everything up. So the mid-drive kit's going to run completely independently. The power from the mid-drive kit from this battery just going to come straight down the frame here, and I've got an excess of cable with a couple of crappy bullet connectors, so I'm going to shorten this cable and replace the bullets and just solder it solid. That's straightforward. The throttle from the mid-drive I'm going to merge to the 2 hub motors. I'm going to try and merge the throttle from all 3 motors together. So the 2 hubs, they're going to be sharing this 52 volt Andy Kirby battery, 20 amp hours with I think LG cells. How I'm going to do that, I've decided to run it, it seems a nice length to run it up the tube here to this first sine wave controller. Then I'm going to tee off of this cable and split it, so this power cable running from the second controller, I'm going to merge the batteries by joining this cable along here somewhere. So yeah, 2 controllers running completely independently off of the 120 amp hour battery.
I hear you breathe that healthy breath. I know it's all of you that I get. 1 bedroom flat, I lock the door and put that photo of her on the floor. Been here for hours, it's getting dark, and we did everything and nothing at all. And I should leave, cause this is bad. Your hands make up for the love we don't have.
Right guys, today's video is brought to you by Banisters Super Green. This is the highest strength CBD oil you can buy in the country. This stuff is great for anxiety, depression, joint pain, you know, rheumatoid arthritis, like so many things, fibromyalgia. I'll leave the company link and name in the description, and go check these guys out because this is super good quality stuff. I've been using it for a week myself. Anyway, on to today's video. What is going on, guys? So we're on to the final day hopefully of this triple motor e-bike build. I'm hoping within a couple of hours or so I'll be able to test this thing and see whether it's up and running, which I'm super excited about. Been out here already today and flapped around, tidied up some wiring, fitted the full twist throttle that I've got from Amazon, and yeah, I'm going to just run you guys through how I merge 3 motors onto 1 single throttle. which should be a whole bunch of fun if it works. Right, we've got this centre display here, and you can unplug if you want to. It's a bit difficult to get in and out, so I'm not going to. You've got the throttle that plugs directly in on this one, and this, as I said before, this was broke anyway. It's snapped off, so I've just cut that off, and that's left us with 3 wires. Basically, on the throttle you have two cables for the power, which I'm going to presume are earth black and red positive on this one, and blue will be the signal cable. You sometimes get different colour cables. You might have white, blue, purple, but I'm going to take a wild guess that this is your power and this is a signal cable from the mid-drive motor. Don't know if you can see here, this is a standard loom for the hub drive kits. You've got your brake sensors, the green one you display and the yellow the throttle. So 2 sets of them coming off, and what I plan to do is take the existing thumb throttle that goes with the kit, plug in the yellow to yellow, and then I'm going to cut off the actual thumb throttle and strip the cables back so it's similar to this cable from the mid-drive. Once I've stripped all 3 throttle cables back to the 3 wires, that's going to leave me with 3 sets of these. And then it's just how do I merge that onto the existing throttle. So this is my full twist throttle and the cable coming off of it. I'm going to chop off the end of this. Now that's still going to leave me with a plug on the end of the looms and the plug on the display. If I want to disconnect the throttle, I can still do it. But I'm going to remove this plug, and that's going to leave me again with the 3 cables, the earth positive and the signal cable. Now I will be joining all 3 cables, earth positive and signal, to the rear hub motor. What that's going to do is that's obviously going to give me, I think it's 5 volts power. I think it's quite low voltage. That'll give me 5 volts power to the rear hub motor. Then the mid-drive and the front motor, I'm only going to be taking the signal cable and just splitting it off of this to the other 2 motors. Right guys, so I just plan to just wire up the mid-drive and the hub drive just to check the the cables are working, the throttle's working individually before we do the merge. This cable coming up here is the full twist throttle, and that's the same as the Andy Kirby kit. It has got a purple, black and white wire. Black is the earth, the white is the signal cable, and the purple is your live. So I'm going to just show you guys, this seems to be up and working absolutely fine. It's got to the stage where it's quite difficult to lift this beast off the ground easily just to show you it's working, but alright, that's just in level 1 for the mid-drive kit. So sweet, first one working. Let's just double check on, actually let's turn the mid-drive up a little bit quicker, see how it's working. Yeah, that's going to be a nice little boost to the 2000 watt rear hub. Right guys, after a lot of messing around, I figured out that the mid-drive kit likes its own power source for the throttle, and the hub drive kits for some reason like their own power source. I can't piggyback the power for the mid-drive off the hub and vice versa. So the mid-drive is going to have all 3 throttle cables connected, and one of the hub drives is going to have all 3 cables connected, and then I'm going to piggyback the signal cable to the front hub motor, so the rear hub motor and the mid-drive motor are getting all 3 cables, and then I'm just going to split the signal cable. So at this point it's time to get this monstrosity of cables sorted. I'm going to solder all these connections properly. So at this connection point here, I've got all 3 wires going to the mid-drive and the rear hub motor. As you can see here, I folded back the earth and positive, and I've only got the signal cable, and it seems to be firing up quite nicely. So before I end up getting a short with all these cables touching, I'm going to get my soldering iron out and see if we can finally get this bike up and running.
Feel like a stone in a well, no one can find me here, pretending it's not it all in, so I can just stay in here. You know what's even worse, it's me who made you run away for good. You left me
Mid-drive on. Seems to be all good. I don't know which motor this is, but I thought I can always switch the cables if I'd probably want the rear on the left for whatever reason. But anyway, right, so that is mid-drive and front wheel drive. Seems to be pulling good. And put on the third and final display. No errors. All of this is on level 1 as well at the moment, so this should be all 3 motors. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Right, let's pull this out into the garden and see what it feels like to pull away on. Big grin. Big grin. Yeah. Right. Is it on there? Yeah. We are finally, I'm so excited to try this. I have not tried it at all. I've literally just wheeled it outside. Come and have a look at the handlebar cockpit. It's like a flipping aeroplane or something. Let's do a bit of ASMR or whatever you call it. That. And if you look, all of these are on level 1. So forget airing on precaution. Let's turn it all up to level 5. All up to level 5. Let's not mess about. There's definitely a bit of tidying to be done, but for the best part, a lot of it's quite tidy. There's a little bit of finishing up to do, but well. Whoa. Probably not the best time to be doing this out in the wet, is it? I'm covered in dirty water now already. I really need to get this out for a fast. It's raining today, so like we can't have the camera out for too long, but look at my trainers. This is not good. Oh well. We need more space, don't we? Yeah. Yeah, it's a wheel spin machine. It's definitely a wheel spin machine. Oh, I can't even stand up it. I'm not tall enough. It's a large frame and I take a medium. Do a separate ride video on this, I think, because I've been on this for 4 days. 4 days of building, 4 evenings of film editing. I want to get this video up tonight. And yeah, I think this bike deserves a separate ride video where you can really actually see what this thing does properly. Not to mention there's probably little things like whatever gear I'm in for the mid-drive is probably going to influence how it accelerates, and I've not even thought of that. I need to flick through the gears. There's scope to make this thing even quicker accelerating or quicker mid-range top end by utilising the gears of the mid-drive. So that is going to be it for this video today, guys. I will endeavour to get out on this pretty soon, and within the next couple of days get a ride video up. So if you're not already subscribe, hit the notifications if you want to see what this triple motorbike can do. I'm going to put it through its paces. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Whoa, no, I've made it all dirty. It's covered in concrete water. I feel like I've got it all over my face. Right, let's give this a clean up, finish the wiring. See you guys soon.